Hello everybody, welcome to this week's episode of an A to Z Guide to Being a Creative Genius. My name is Heidi Hinder Chadwick and today we're going to look at C for commitment. Yes, I do, forever and ever and ever till death us do part. Mwah! So just before we go any further, if you haven't done so already, my darlings, then it would be amazing if you would like this video, if you subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell button so you get notification when the next video is coming in. I post weekly with a little bit of flow in there as well, I've realized recently. And also, if you found this content helpful for you, then perhaps share it to fellow creative geniuses in your social networks, and that would be amazing. Thank you. C is for commitment. It's the ultimate saying yes, and it's the ultimate choosing, and it's the ultimate absolute all-in devotion to whatever it is that you are saying yes to. You see, the thing is, and this is something that I've been very aware of in my own life, kind of walking this creative path, is that sometimes we maybe feel or think that we are in commitment to our art and our creative life and our path, but actually we're kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know, a bit like the hokey cokey, really. We're not fully committed. There's a hesitancy. It creates a kind of ambivalence towards whatever it is that you believe in some ways that you are committed to. And that ambivalence creates that hum of anxiety. It also kind of stops the flow. It's as if something stood in the doorway. You know, you're going to a party, you're not quite sure if you're going in, you're going out. Literally stood in the door. So you're stopping that flow. So what I say is just get out of the doorway, either all in or all out. Yeah, there's no either or here. But it is important just to say at this point that kindness, as always, is vital. So there are going to be times when, even though we're most of the time in that yes to commitment, to showing up, there's also going to be times when we just are not. For whatever reason, we can't be bothered. We're in a bit of a resistance role. Fear's got us going on for a while. We've reached another level of our growth or creative becoming, and so we're just churning around in that whole chaos washing machine for a while. That's okay too. As soon as we have enough awareness, we can make the choice again to ask ourselves, what am I in commitment to? It's interesting, isn't it? What are you in commitment to? Are you in commitment to your heart, to your joy, to your life? Are you in commitment to the relationship that you are in? Are you in commitment to your dreams? Are you in commitment to your values, to your integrity, to your truth? Are you in commitment to love, to growth? Or you might find that when you ask that question, you might realize, actually, if I'm honest, I'm in commitment right now to my fears. I'm in commitment to staying and playing small. I'm in commitment to being a victim to life. I'm in commitment to feeling and remaining imprisoned by my old, outdated, and no longer serving beliefs. So in a weird way, commitment is very similar to being in service too. It really is what it is that we are opening ourselves and bowing towards. Other ways that we might be fearful, if you like, or hesitant, that hesitancy towards commitment, is that old thing around permission. Am I allowed? Am I really allowed to create my art how I want to? Am I allowed to say this? Am I allowed to be the fullest expression and potentialized being that I've come here into this world to shine my light? Am I allowed to shine? What will people say? What will they think? It's, I know that one. It's quite a common one. But the irony is no one's actually really thinking about you in that way. Everyone's pretty much got that going on for themselves, really. And actually, it's no one else's business. Let people think what they think. People will always have an opinion. People will always think. And usually the people with the most scathing opinions are the ones that are probably desiring to commit to their art and their heart in the way that you are doing. And that whole feeling of dissatisfaction or frustration can bring a lot of that projected anger or rage or disappointment or grief out towards you. As I've said before, it's a real risk and takes real courage to commit, absolutely commit. My underlying why around what I'm committing to is freedom, creative freedom, your creative freedom by doing these videos. But I have to say, oh my goodness, I've really been hit by all of the old saboteur and all the old stories and all the old desires, or that part of me that wants to stay small or just do a little bit and then give up. Commitment has been the most massive medicine for me, particularly recently, particularly starting to really say yes to this business and to putting this service out there into the world, to creating these and showing up for you regularly. Bloody hell, seriously, I've just been like, I can't be bothered, I'm not going to do it, what's the point? No one's seeing. It's like, hello, is anyone there? Are you there? Say hello, yeah, just pop a hello. Even if you've just stopped by, just say hello. Sometimes it feels like that when you are offering your heart and your art out into life. It can be a bit like, this call out into the dark. Hello. Nothing. So watching that one. But the thing is, the part of me that does believe in, absolutely 100% believe in, and is loving and really enjoying what it is that I'm doing, and knows that what I have to offer has value, and knows that it bloody well works, and is the key to creative freedom. That bit is bigger. And as a dear darling friend said to me the other day, being committed, in commitment to your truth, despite the bullshit fucking lunacy of the mind. Such wisdom. I love my dear friends. But it's true, because the mind will come in with all of its doubts, all of its judgments, all of its excuses, all of its reasons not to. It's easier, it's safer. A lot of the time we can have this belief, can't we? Well, I can't do this, I won't do this. And the belief can be because we're going to fail. So commitment is very much showing up despite the fact that, you're probably going to fail. And actually, it's good to fail. It's good to make mistakes. It's good to fuck up. It's actually part of. Otherwise, we don't do anything. We don't make anything, because that fear will literally paralyze us. But I wonder the other side of that. I wonder if there's a fear of really committing and showing it consistently, because we're scared of what happens if this succeeds, if my creative dream takes off. Will my life change? Will I be asked more of than maybe I feel like I'm capable of being able to give? Will I have to sacrifice other aspects of my life as it is right now? So, it's interesting to see what the mind grasps onto and what's kind of underneath the hesitancy to say yes. The other thing as well about saying yes is that when we stay in commitment to something, we build depth. Staying longer with something. It's like we go in further and further and further and further and further. All of us in, not just that toe stepping in. We start to then put in the ankles and the shins and up to our thighs, and we get that, that's what I get when I go into cold water sometimes, around the waist. That little exposed area around the kidneys, and then coming up over to the chest and then the shoulders, and then, finally it's almost like a baptism, isn't it, when I think about it? That fully committing is we literally surrender ourselves to this baptism of being fully immersed in life, in creative flow, in the juices that are desiring to move us into becoming. Maybe. I'm just going to go with that. I really like that image because it is that staying with, we begin to have more of a depth of wisdom, of understanding, of knowing, a depth of intimacy. Depth of intimacy. And that's absolutely exquisite. More and more and more we lose those places that seek to separate us from life and from who we are and from joy and from pleasure and from passion and for all of that which we are in service to offering out into life, our art, our beauty, our soul, ultimately. So for me, there is something around commitment being akin to a love affair. I mentioned about this before, of taking life as your lover. This is just going a little deeper into what this means. It's saying yes to being in relationship, a steady, consistent, quite a mature, eyes open, real relationship to your art, to your life. Ultimately, that means to yourself, to who you are, to what's important to you. And one of the things that you might like to try, it's a very powerful exercise to do, is to imagine this being a kind of wedding, a marriage, a ceremony. You might like to create some kind of ritual where you perhaps design your vows. What are you vowing? What are you promising? What is your word? And knowing that with anything, this that we're committing to is its own alive thing. It will change. It won't always be agreeable. It won't be perfect. It will annoy the fuck out of us at times. It will sometimes be very boring. We'll just maybe sometimes wonder what's over there. Is there something better coming along? We won't know what it means if we've never fully, absolutely, yes, committed to our art and to our life in this way. It's going to be completely unknown, and that's going to be scary. Yeah, we'll be swimming literally in the depths where it's very difficult to know what's in there unless we've been ourselves, unless we've experienced that in every part of our body ourselves. So be interested in this relationship that you're having. What kind of relationship you are investing in? Is it a kind one? Is it respectful? Does it have integrity? Is it supportive, encouraging? Is it a challenging for you to be the best that you can be? Is there space in that relationship? Is it a forgiving relationship? Interesting questions to ask yourself as you stand before your art, your business, your life, your heart, as to what is this relationship? What am I willing to invest? What am I choosing? And being in appreciation for all that this is bringing to you as well. So it's not just like, what can I get from here, but also what is it that I'm seeing that is adding to who I am, that is interesting to me, that is making me be inspired and grow. What can I learn from you? Have these dialogues. You are in relationship. We're always in relationship to everything. It's that we often forget. I find this a very beautiful and very powerful ritual if this interests you to explore. So one last thing here, and this is around the requirements in a way of commitment. There is a requirement, first of all, that we are willingly saying yes and to honour the times when we are saying no. So we say yes to our no. It requires of us to show up as much as we can with everything that we are, and not just to show up, but to be willing to stay. That commitment is the willingness to stay. It requires us to use our discernment when it's needed, our wisdom, to stay at the times when things are challenging for us and not what we'd like, when we'd rather bolt or escape and make our excuses to hide away. It requires courage, bravery. It requires our vulnerability, things I've mentioned over and over again in order to live the fullest creative life possible. It requires of us to put down control of what we think it should look like, where it's going. There's a beautiful Rumi quote that says that all we need to do, something like all we need to do is just to start out on the way, just to take that step, and the way, the path appears. It's a little bit like driving through fog with our headlights. We can only just see that just enough in front of us. We can't see or know or have any idea of what is down the road. I mean, it's the willingness to stay and sit in the impatience. This is me talking about stuff that's come up for me. Impatience, the what's the point, that feeling that no one's interested, why bother, the judgements around perfection, not doing it properly, questioning everything, really. The part that wants to be lazy, go into distraction, procrastination. It's the being willing to feel all of those things and to move through them, so you just stay in that space. One step at a time, one word, one sentence at a time, one brushstroke, one movement, one idea, one action. It is love in action. Love it's dynamic, it's a verb, it's participatory. It's not passive. Can you imagine being in a relationship where either one of you is just passive? I mean, Jesus Christ, that's just no. No, basically. It requires us to be an active participant, that willingness to be and to do, to receive and then to express. And it's not just about the words, it is very much about actions. Actions speak louder than words. So yes, the vows are important, but then what you do on that, you make all your decisions, your choices informed by the clarity of your vows. There is a difference between committing and attachment. I don't know yet if I've fully let go of my attachment to, is there anybody there? Hello? Being really honest. And this is an edge for me to put that down, that attachment to the outcome, the attachment to the expectations. So love is without attachment. It's simply the action of doing and saying yes because it's coming from you. It feels solid and right and just is. And from that you can't go wrong. I feel really excited from sharing all of this with you and for my own journey. As I've mentioned before, my life isn't separate from my art. My art is my life, whether it's creating content for you, wisdom, mining the creative process, life, whether it's my own writing and my own art creation, or it's my own life and relationships. It's everything. So I am fully committed to doing all of this work in order to alchemize that into something that is helpful and supportive and inspiring for you too. And it is an absolute and utter pleasure, and just the passion around that for me is just, I can feel it right now. It's tangible and it's wondrous. And I'm very appreciative of you being here and of listening and of giving your time and your attention. So, as I mentioned right at the beginning, subscribe, share, like, and do comment and say hello. I'd really, really appreciate that. And also let me know what you'd like me to speak about around creative process, creative cycles, living a creative life, your art, where you get stuck, edges and so on, as I am creating this content for you, my darlings. If you head on over to my website, you can sign up to be on my mailing list and receive your free 10 Ways to Awaken Your Creative Genius ebook. You can follow me on Instagram, because I like it over there. And I look forward very much to seeing you here next week for another episode. So from this creative genius to your creative genius, thank you, and have a beautiful, wonderful, heart committed in your truth week. Thank you. Bye.